Mm.
What have we here?
I'm your host with the most. Welcome to today's Ignorance. Welcome to the show. The curtain has opened up. You shall be seated. Let's get to it, man.
Nigga, I got some workplace shenanigans content for your ass, nigga.
Let's get it.
So on this edition of Workplace Shenanigans, like I said, Super Saiyan. So sometimes, you know,
Going Super Saiyan at the workplace. Is that what we doing, Breezer? Going Super Saiyan. I don't think I ever went Super Saiyan at the workplace. Going Super Saiyan at the workplace, that's going to be a problem. They're going to call security. Let's get it. What you got to say, Breezer?
look, when you have a relationship, you know, your coworkers and whatnot, you know, you got to conduct yourself when times is good, when times is fucked up. You know, you got to work together, even in crisis, right? So they crisis day. It's a holiday. It's Monday. We come off the holiday, so you know, and this something popped off over the weekend, and some work didn't get done, and it got carried over into Monday. Nothing prep. So needless to say, when I walked in, it was chaotic, and when he came in, it was still chaotic. But I prep. So, you know, come in there, handle my stuff. You know, I'm handling mine. Make sure everybody else is taken care of before I start doing my stuff. I handle my stuff. Now, when you hear, sometimes you might hear me use the term passive aggressive. And so, sometimes, you know, when you passive aggressive, you know, translates or transfers. There you go. That's where that energy transfers. So, somebody's coming at you with some negative energy, you know, your only response is give them back that same energy, right? However, when you retort, you better make sure you come with purpose in your retort. So, that being said, this is what happens.
I'm not doing this just to say this. I'm saying this side of MK Specs. You have to be careful when you are charging up, and Alicia call me. Even in base form, you have to be careful. Sometimes the best reaction is not to react to the shit at all. Do not get in your feelings at the workplace. I know it's difficult. It's tough, right? It's tough, right? Sometimes the best advice is silencio, right? Turn it Super Saiyan, right? Right. Again, I'm on a top tier. We go Super Saiyan, everybody knows about it. That's a problem. That's a problem. no management wants to deal, right? They try to suppress that and get rid of that. Uh, you have to be careful about going Super Saiyan at the workplace.
So whatever happened on the weekend, I didn't show up on the weekend. You know, we had an agreement. I cashed in on my agreement. Now they're trying to backslide, right? So,
were you scheduled to work the weekend or something like that? Did management know? Because if management didn't know and you all in your own hands and you supposed to be scheduled the weekend because on Monday, the air will be a little different. Me personally, I'm gonna have a conversation with you and shit. You know what I'm saying? Either when you get there or when you leave. Right. So we just saying that, you know, he said that this is an agreement. All right, the agreement was made. Okay, and I'm saying that management is aware of it. But if management wasn't aware of it, you might be doing it. Go ahead, Breezer.
I cashed in.
Uh-huh.
It was chaotic. Nobody did nothing. Came in. It was still chaotic.
When you wasn't there and it was chaotic, did everybody blame you and shit? What I'm saying is, you know, you cash it in, did that have an effect of other people saying, he ain't here, I ain't gonna do this shit? I just want clarification. Alright. It ain't about what you know, it's about what you can prove. Alright?
You know, got everybody going. He comes in, you know, it's still chaotic. So now he's banging on everybody. What happened this day? How come you didn't do this? You know, he doing his job. That's what you're supposed to do as management. Get to the bottom of shit. What happened? Why are we having all this? You know, he getting down to the bottom line. But still, he's overwhelmed too, because you had one person that didn't show up the previous day, and then this morning the said person didn't show up again until later, right? So he was already mad on top of the fact that person didn't come in on Sunday, and then you come up first, you don't do a no call, no show, and then you show up late. So now he pissed, and he got every right to be. But keep that energy toward that person, right? Keep in mind, keep that energy toward that person. You know, but this individual is the type of person who don't know how to keep that energy under control. You know, he don't know how to keep it towards said individuals, or he like to just take it out on everybody else who's around. So, having said that, and I know he was feeling some type of way about me too, me not showing up. So I'm like, all right, I get this is now the passive aggressiveness is coming out because he in his feelings. All right, I get it, I understand. He got a right to be. But, you know, going back to what I originally said, he know what the agreement was, and so you can't go back on that. So he sent me on some assignments, right? He sent me on some assignments. I go handle my stuff. He gonna send me on another assignment. He said, hey, I want him. He said, empty out all these cards. Don't bring anything back. All right, so this takes some time. Now, to pause the story to give you guys a side note so you can get more context on why everything happened. So, my supervisor is the type of person where he likes to throw extras on a lot of things to blow things out of proportion, you know, to make it seem bigger than what it really is. So I go do my stuff, and now keep in mind I'm already going through it My body is hurting. You know, I've been pushing and pulling carts, and I gotta do other stuff. And I haven't eaten anything. The only thing I drank was a couple of sips of water. So needless to say, I was hangry.
Hangry? Whoa. Hold up, my nigga. You already know, nigga. All right. We all been there. Even me. I have to literally. Look. When I arrive at the plantation, I done had some church's chicken because I need something. I'm gonna burn this shit off. I've tried that. Oh, here we just gonna sip water and stuff like that. Man, stomach is raw like a dungeon dragon. Feed me, nigga, before we pass out on this bitch. The fitness part that's on my phone that tell me how many steps, right? 2 hours, it's already saying we done did 70,000. 2 hours. Right? So I'm way past the daily amounts. Right? Way past the daily amount. It's gonna be 3 times that. I get it. You hungry. Right? You didn't stop to get nothing to eat. You just rushed to work. I don't advise that. Nigga, get you a goddamn something to replenish. You'll put yourself on the USB before you go to work. Because your body, when it's malnourished, it's going to worry about nourishment. And it ain't worrying about being productive. And this might be the time that you really needed to be productive. Breezer, he was low on energon and shit, right? He needed a Zensu bean, nigga. He was hangry. That was a new word. I was like, okay, that's hungry and angry and shit. Angry and management. We already say that's a self problem. Look, we're not responsible. See, that's why they gonna move in with the AI, because the AI don't get hungry and the AI don't get angry. And I'm just giving it a bean with you. Breezy, you better keep you a power bar or something in your knapsack or something like that for in these times, man, because if you hungry, you ain't performing right, man. You thinking about food, nigga. You ain't thinking about work and shit. Especially you got the dizzy spells. You drinking water and shit, man. We gonna start fasting today? Nah, it don't work. And you know, I get it. But to fix this external problem, we gonna have to fix the internal problem. You gotta take some accountability. Going forward, nigga, keep you a granola bar or some shit and throw down up in that motherfucking furnace when it's time to work. For real. In my office, my lower file cabinet got everything. The cup of noodles, the expensive ramen ones, right? Granola bars, trail mix with no raisin, paydays, all that. I need to eat something right now. I need to, man. Even the sardines is in there, man. You would take you a little time, nigga. Go up in that bathroom and nigga slap them sardines in water and some of them crackers, nigga, and get that up in you. And you know what I'm saying? Bring you back to life, because man, if you hungry, you look like you had an attitude, Breezer. I'm gonna keep it a buck, nigga. You was turning into Aretha Franklin, nigga.
I was going through the motions, so my key was already at max level. Like the slightest thing could set me off. Now, going back to the story. So, I'm on assignment. I go take my stuff up, and I say, you know what? I need to get me something to drink so I can rehydrate, because I need this right now. So I go to the AT, I go to the thing, having issues with the machine. I finally get my drink, drink half the bottle, go back, finish my stuff. So now I'm about halfway doing my stuff, and then I start getting messages. Hey, where you at? Let him know where I'm at. So I keep working. And then I get one of them sarcastic messages, right?
Like what?
And so now when I get the sarcastic message, I don't respond to it because, I know what it means. Again, the passive aggressiveness, right? So I don't respond. I keep working. About 10 minutes later, I'm stocking the cabinet. Door opens up. It's the supervisor. And now keep in mind, I'm up on the floor, right? I'm up on the delivery, handling business, right? So now, supervisor does his job. He does his investigation, pulls up on me, right? And then he proceeds to bang on me. And now while he's banging on me about the time, right? And so now, when you've been to training and you've done these classes, they teach you about things like that, how to deal with situations like this. And so I remembered the great book that I have definitely been brushing up on. And in that moment, I decided to practice the art of shut the fuck up. Right? Because you got to know when to shut the fuck up. And in this moment, I practiced the art. I put it to practice, right? While he's chastising me in front of all these folks, I'm still maintaining my key, but I'm living, right? And he don't know it, but I'm pissed. But I'm like, all right, cool. He's still talking. But I'm still being professional. I'm being professional with my answers because I'm being selective with what I say, right? Because you got to remember, in the lawsuit, they can use that shit against you. So I'm being very selective of my words or how I respond. And so I give a very positive response to let him know, hey, I'm on the job. I got it. You can leave, right? But he wasn't trying to hear that. He wanted answers. So now he banging on me even more, to the point where now I have to not get out of character, but I had to give him another professional answer, but with a little bit more sternness, right? And I proceeded to say, hey, now you're distracting me now from doing my job. You're keeping me from doing my job. And so I said that, and I made another comment, and that last comment that I made when I told him just to kind of like chill out, you can relax, that's when he went Super Saiyan. And he went Super Saiyan in front of a bunch of witnesses, right? See, this is key. When you wilding out at the job, you got to remember where you are, and you have to keep in mind who's around you, because there can be, like, if you got witnesses that can back up and corroborate your story, that can help you in the lawsuit. So you got to document that shit. So he went Super Saiyan with his responses, which prompted me to go Super Saiyan. And it was short, powerful, and brief. And that was it. We went back downstairs. We went back to base, and we was cool. But one of the witnesses came up to me a few hours later and was like, hey man, what was up with that? So I let him know what time it was, and he was like, yeah man, that was unprofessional, man. He didn't have to do that. And so,
man, Breezer, I can't stand motherfuckers like that. I'm gonna keep it a million with you and shit. I mean, to you probably thought old boy was like telling you something positive, like, yeah, man, you would check that motherfucker and shit like that. Oh man, them niggas is despicable. Both of y'all are wrong. Number one, both of y'all is making the workplace hostile environment. Both of y'all. Sorry, Breezer. Both of y'all. Both of y'all. And Breezer, man, look, I get it, man, but I be wanting you to act with more fucking professionalism. You know, for real, man. And I want you to take some accountability. Like I said, about your car not being charged, you know what I'm saying? It's like that right there, you know, this all could have been prevented if you would have just, you know, got a granola bar, you know what I'm saying? Like, it could have been prevented. Because, like I said, I know me, when I'm starving, Somali and General Light and shit, Coyote Rib, when I'm starving and shit, you ain't getting no performance out of me. That's why look, Breezer. That's why I bring donuts to my staff and shit. I want you fully charged. I want you amped up. Y'all want some coffee? I want you amped up. I want you ready. I want you ready for when shit goes bad and shit like that. You know, you ready. Ready to go in there. We're going to be in motion together. And I think you take advantage of your superiors' language differences. I think you take full advantage. Yeah, you do, nigga. Yeah, you do, nigga. But will and power, you gotta be careful, man. You swinging swords, cut somebody else's head off, can also decapitate your own. Right? Ain't no lawsuit. Ain't no lawsuit because how that would have worked disciplinary if it was like, let's say, if he wanted to push the issue, right? It's gonna set both of y'all on fire, give y'all both some more training courses, right? I think there's a communication here. You should have communicated to your supervisor this, what I'm about to say. Hey, yo, bro, man, I'm starving in the money. I got the dizzies. I need to go over here to this convenience store to get me a monster, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get this monster. I'm going to chug that mug, and we're going to get back in the game. I just wanted to let you know, right? You know what I'm saying? You start looking for me, and, you know, just give me 3 minutes. And, of course, if you called out when they needed you, the superior might be feeling a certain way, especially if they gotta get out there and they gotta roll their sleeves up. See, this is what I be wanting y'all to understand, right? That a person in management will lose their job if they out there helping you. That's only for emergencies, right? Right? And y'all don't understand what's the reason for that is because, you know, there's a lawsuit there. There's a lawsuit there. Me, when I have these encounters, it's definitely pushing you out. Pushing you out because what I need worker that's gonna come on time, don't do no meal penalty breaks and shit like that. Follow the orders. Take their ass home. That's what I need. That's what I need. And how many staff of them people is that's the criteria, right? And then sometimes the criteria don't be that. It be the shenanigans. There's a consequence of going Super Saiyan. There's a consequence on both sides. It depends on how dirty both sides want to get. It just depends on how dirty. It's going to be a ceasefire. Right? And you may not forgive, but they definitely ain't going to forget. You best believe in those meetings, man. They want to know who's screwing up in your squad and shit, so they can get rid of. They want to know. They want to know, and then you can't lie about if some shit popping off because they already in the loop. They already in the feed. It already been a situation, an occurrence and shit that's private, but it's kind of public, right? They know. Trouble, nigga. I like I said, I you flexing like that, you definitely will lose your gig. You have to do it smarter, and sometimes you just gotta do what they ask you, and you just gotta shut the fuck up and just leave. Just leave it alone. I know. But you can make the shit worse. And and when your boss said that shit to you, man, I'm just trying to let you know, don't look at it as a tap for a tit. Especially in that manner. Because I have situations where, I've been around my superiors and I stepped over the line just a little bit. And I got checked. So that told me already, like, don't do that shit ever again. No matter, Breeza, don't do that shit. There's a better and a more professional way. Sometimes you gotta eat it, especially if you did something that like disturbed the groove. You just gotta, don't put it on them. You just gotta be accountable, nigga. It said that was the ripple effect, nigga. That I call. I'll give you an example. If I call off, right, and it says shambles, because my lead ain't there, right, I call off and it be in shambles. Everybody running around with their chicken with their head cut off to get through the day because of my absence. They had to change every damn thing and shit, right? Don't play the dangerous game. Trust me. Sometimes doing a little extra work is gonna go a long way, or just fixing the situation just heads in, But again, the flaw that I can see with my nigga Breezy is one, he needed a sausage biscuit before he got up in that bitch. I'm just keeping it buck. I think. Because the gas tank was on E, this is the result. I'm just being a billion with you, nigga. Because if you had some nourishment, you wouldn't have been that agitated. Like when you like that, you're agitated and shit like that, and you don't want to hear shit nobody gotta say, nigga. You want food, nigga. I need food, nigga. Yeah, we gonna kill that right now. You need to get you a pack, man. I keep me a pack of all that Costco shit, dude. Like I said, granola bars, Slim Jims and shit when I need some nourishment, nigga. Things are different, I don't know, like his lunch time, and I know it's early, right? So you taking lunch, it's like you taking breakfast, right? But think about it. When you on the go, nigga, you gonna need something heavy. You gonna need something with some calories, nigga. Eggs and bacon, salad. I know Breezer. He likes those pizzas and shit, right? He got an apple or something like that, right? They ain't enough, nigga. They ain't enough. When you moving that shit, nigga, you gonna need steak and potato. Steak and potato, yo. hungry. Do not function. Brain and body is just like, I can't do it. So it's like that's what I would want Breezer to take accountability and going forward, make sure that he's nourished. Because if not, you gonna have these kind of effects and situations, nigga, and shit, right? Right, let's get a Zenzu bean up in us and shit. We won't have to go Super Saiyan with our fucking higher up. You know what I'm saying? And see, this is another thing I just want to share. It's like you gotta kill them with kindness, man. You gotta kill them with kindness. You gotta kill them with kindness. You gotta kill, right? You gotta make your boss your pet and shit, right? Kill them with kindness. You gotta kill them with kindness. Kill them with kindness, man. You do not want to be like on a pissing contest with your boss. With your boss. Look, and it ain't nothing wrong. I know a lot of y'all be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna train it. No. Just go ahead, digress. Don't, because you can fuck up the whole good money and shit. You can fuck it up. Evaluations is coming around. Right? You can fuck it up. You can fuck it up. Yeah, I think even when I have trouble me going Super Saiyan, like me like on site, like in front of my superiors, and then you gonna have a reputation for that. It's like it's all bad. It's all bad. It's all bad. It's all bad. I don't advise that at all. Even when you going out and you got your final and you talking like that, you gotta understand at that moment it really doesn't matter what you say. It's not like that. It's done. It's a wrap. Done. It's done. But that's the only thing I could say. Like right now the only thing I could grasp from that where I see my nigga was at fault is just he needs to just nourish up a good master burger. Like eat you some church's chicken like 2 hours before, man. You know what I'm saying? 2 hours before, and then you just get into it. That's just my Mad Hoffa expert opinion, man. Workplace Shenanigans. What y'all think? Y'all think the Breeze was in the right? Was in the right? Man, you better be careful though, man. I tell you, you better not go Super Saiyan for at least 6 months. 6 months. You don't better not go Super Saiyan. Please. And don't you think your boss didn't put that in his notes that y'all had an occurrence? Be careful. Shit on the back end. Get you in trouble. Shit, nigga. I know it felt good, but man, it's gonna come with a price, man. Just be careful. Alright? I'm your host with the most. That was the Shenanigans and shit, the Workplace Shenanigans.